Hello everyone, my name is Dusan Aynazim. I'm from Turkestan Oblast, Otral region, and I'm studying in 9th grade at Timur Secondary School. My teacher's name is Jandarbekova Marinas. Today I'm going to talk about Unesco. United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization is a specialized agency of United Nations aimed at promoting world peace and security through international cooperation in education, arts, science and culture. It has 193 member states and 12 associate members, as well as partners in non-governmental, intergovernmental and private sector. Headquartered at the World Heritage Center in Paris, France. UNESCO has 53 regional field offices and 199 national commissions that facilitated its global mandate. During World War II, a number of allied governments met in London to discuss the ways of improving the education after the war. The idea became very popular and took on a universal aspect. Later in November 1945, United Nations conference was held in London to discuss the matter further, and later after that, United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization was created. Its mission was to help build peace, wipe out poverty and help countries to develop. Since then, this organization has worked to improve education worldwide. Today, I'm going to have a talk about the World Heritage Site. What is a World Heritage Site? It is a landmark or area with legal protection by an international convention administered by United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. World Heritage Sites are designated by UNESCO for having cultural, historical and scientific or other form of significance. There are 5 items in the World Heritage List in Kazakhstan. 3 objects are included in the World Heritage List according to cultural criteria, and one of them recognized as a masterpiece of human genius. 2 objects are included in the World Heritage List according to natural criteria, and 14 sites in Kazakhstan are among the candidates for inclusion in the World Heritage List. The first object that located in the territory of Kazakhstan was listed in 2003 at the 27th ceremony session the World Heritage Committee. It was the mausoleum of Khoja Ahmed Yassouhi. I would like to stop at some man-made masterpiece human genius that listed in World Heritage List. The mausoleum of Khoja Ahmed Yassouhi. Timur was a military leader who founded the Timurid Empire, which stretched modern-day Turkey in the west and the Pakistan in the east. Timur was the more than fierce warrior. However, he loved art and architecture, and he was a very religious person. One of his greatest projects was the rebuilding mausoleum of Khoja Ahmed Yassouhi, a poet and a wise man who died in 1166. Construction began in 1389 and stopped when Timur died in 1405. The project was never finished, but it is still a beautiful example of 12th century architecture. And the structure has 35 rooms, including mosque and a mausoleum. And the visitors can see the beautiful original paintings and the tiles on walls inside. And the mausoleum of Khoja Ahmed Yassouhi isn't only a fascinating example of Timurid architecture, it is also a beautiful site for pilgrims and tourists. The next site is Petropolis of Tamgaly in Kazakhstan. On September 9th, at a ceremony held at UNESCO headquarters, UNESCO's Director General Mr. Kaichiro Matsura presented Mr. Dusen Kasenov, a special representative of the Republic of Kazakhstan for cultural and humanitarian cooperation, with certificate of inclusion in the World Heritage List of Petropolis of Archaeological Landscape of Tamgaly in Kazakhstan. This is the second site in Kazakhstan that included in the World Heritage List during the 28th session in 2004. Petropolis of Tamgaly are located in the gorge of mountain massif under Akai, 170 kilometers northwest of Almaty, in the southeastern part of two Ile Mountains. The complex was discovered in 1957. And including about 5,000 cave images, and that the appearance which scientists date from the second half of the second millennium BC to the early 20th century. In the gorge of Tamgal, scientists have found many ancient burials. The center of complex was contained the largest number of the cave paintings and altars, indicating that this site was used for ritual ceremonies. The next heritage is the Chang'an-Tianshan corridor. The Chang'an-Tianshan corridor was a 5 kilometers long stretch of the Silk Road that runs through Kazakhstan. In 2014, it became the first section of the Silk Road to be included in the World Heritage List. The road began in Chang'an, modern-day Xi'an, the capital city of Han Dynasty. It looped around the top of the Taklamakan Desert and went through Tianshan Mountains and on into the steppe of Kazakhstan. In places, travelers were 154 meters below sea level. In other parts, they passed mountains 7,400 meters above. They followed the road past an ancient settlements of Talgar, Vernik, Aktobe, eventually reaching Almaty. From here, they could follow the next section of the Silk Road towards Europe. The reason people traveled along the Chang'an-Tianshan was to trade goods. Merchants from east exchanged silk, spices, and porcelain and gunpowder for mirror, silver, wool, cotton from the east. Hundreds of years before, the international fights and mass media and the internet globalization started from here. It was the Chang'an-Tianshan corridor through Kazakhstan. It was one of the major links between East and the West. There are some material monuments of cultural heritage of Kazakhstan in the preliminary list of UNESCO World Heritage. The Torik Sanctuary Mirke, Northern Tianshan, Ablayhid Monastery, Ulutau Cultural Landscape, Petropolis of Archaeological Landscape, Arpavizen, Yeshkolmes, Kulchabas, South Kandık, and the rock masks of Mangyshlak Peninsula, a sturdy natural landscape, and the Arans, which are the ancient hunting traps. The UNESCO World Heritage Sites in Kazakhstan promote international and inter-civilized dialogue. Nowadays, the Mausoleum of Kochahmet-Yassauи, Western Tianshan, Sararka, and the corridors of Chang'an-Tianshan and the Petropolis of Damgalı are visited thousands of tourists from all over the world.